Hey, what's going on, Daily Dreamers? You got Mathras back. This is actually week 1 of the VDL Season 2, the Vitality Draft League. If you want to check out my draft overview video, I'll put a link to that in the top right of the screen. So, week 1 versus 1 Wild Arcani, aka Arc, aka Other Matt. So it was a very personal battle. There's a lot of stakes in this one. Basically, who was going to be the better Matt, stuff like that. Had to make sure I brought my A game. So, I brought Grassy Seed, Unburden Sceptile, paired with Grassy Surge, Rillaboom. I had Rocky Helmet, pretty bulky, Crobat to take on his Tapu Bulu. Oh, it was also Grassy Surge battle, which was pretty crazy. I'm bringing Stealth Rock Swampert, especially defensive. It actually takes on things like Blastoise and other things on his team. Like it takes a Hidden Power Grass from Manectric and then knocks it out with Earthquake without any any attack investment. It's awesome. I've got Scizor here with Defog. I don't think I have Swords Dance. I'm pretty sure I don't have Swords Dance. And then Scarf Blaziken, which I think is pretty cool. It gets a lot of good moves like U-turn now. Well, I mean now. In this league, it gets access to U-turn, so it can U-turn on like Pokemon then. So I can click U-turn rather than getting locked into like a Flare Blitz and let him come in with Victini or something. Also, I'm running like no speed on Sceptile. It's like no speed, adamant, max attack. So let's put this on slow. So I wanted to get my rocks up right away because I noticed that his only defogger was Salamence, his Rapid Spinner was Blastoise, but I'm guessing he wants to run both of those offensively, so I was like, okay, let me get my rocks up because I don't think there's any way that he will want to get rid of them, so I get the rocks up for turn 1, even though he's in Manectric. And then he Shell Smashes, he's like, oh, I think he said he thought he might win, somebody thought it might sweep, but I just get a Toxic off, and I know I can tank hits from this thing even at +2, because Mega Blastoise is one thing, but regular Blastoise only has like 80 base special attack, so it's not really doing much, and I can actually do a lot back with Earthquake. I'm actually doing more with Earthquake with no investment. So Swampert is surprisingly bulky, as he pulls a switch into Tapu Bulu, but the Earthquake unfortunately doesn't do much. But between that and the Stealth Rock damage, I get a little bit of chip there. And I know I can go into my Crobat pretty safely as he goes for the Play Rough. Still doing more than I want it to, but at least I'm doing more Rocky Helmet back to him. And I can obviously threaten him out and safely click the U-turn. So Aggron is in, and I'm back, and I'm bringing out Rillaboom. Because I am running, Stomping Tantrum. Yeah, I should actually run High Horsepower. It's a little less accurate, but it is more powerful than Stomping Tantrum. And wow, tanking that Ice Beam or Ice Punch with a crit was actually pretty crazy. So Rillaboom is surprisingly bulky. So we'll go for the Drum Beating there, thinking it probably okay with Aggron, and then catching the switch too, so I get the speed drop on his Salamence. And I try to go into my Scizor, but he actually goes for the Flamethrower, which I wasn't expecting. I thought he would go for like a Dragon move or something. So Scizor unfortunately gets completely obliterated, but Scizor is unnecessary. So let's just take a second here as he goes into Tapu Bulu. Just looking at his team, I think he expected me to have an Ice move here, but I don't. I'm just going for a Toxic. But looking at his team, I basically just need to weaken the Manectric and weaken the Salamence to a point where Dragon Claw from Sceptile knocks it out, which I think it is at a range, especially if it comes in on rocks one more time. I just need to get Tapu Bulu in range of Acrobatics and weaken the Victini a little bit, so things are already looking pretty good for my Sceptile sweep. I just need to get a little more damage on the Tapu Bulu, I think. Aggron might already be in range, and then maybe like a little chip on the Manectric, a little chip on the Salamence, so just a little bit more chip all around, and Sceptile's looking pretty good. So I get a Toxic off on this, which is pretty big. It's going to be keeping this thing very low. and keep it in range for my late game sweep later. I go into Crobat once again as he actually makes the nice prediction and goes for the Leech Seed. But he is Toxic and I have Roost. So I think, yeah, I do go for the Roost, which gives him a little Leech Seed recovery. But right here, I'm like, okay, I have Swampert right there. And I think it seems like he's bluffed not having Hidden Power Grass very well. But I'm pretty sure he's Hidden Power Grass because I don't know why he would run Hidden Power Ice versus my team with Swampert being the only ground type. So I've never been more sure of anything in my life that he's not going for an electric type move right here. As the Intimidate is not dropped by my Inner Focus, and he does go for the Hidden Power Grass, which does nothing, and I get some nice chip with U-turn off, and that's actually very good range for most of my team, as I can now bring in this thing, which is about to do some big damage. Knocks out the Manectric. I think Blaziken is super underrated. I mean, it doesn't need speed boost to be good, and for sure this thing is not bad. But he intimidates me with his Salamence, and obviously Flare Blitz isn't going to be doing much. But I know my my Swampert can tank hits from this thing. So I go into it, he misses a Stone Edge. I thought he would switch there, but he actually ends up going for the Z move and knocking out my Blaziken. I just completely forgot about Z moves, honestly. Like, I thought I just was like, okay, he might be like choiced or something and locked into Stone Edge, and I thought he would fear the Swampert, and I probably honestly lived at Devastating Drake with Swampert, but I just thought he would switch, so I tried to go Blaziken. I thought he would go like Tapu Bulu or something. So yeah, that play ends up working out pretty well for him. But I can actually go Crobat, which with I am mostly HP investment, can still outspeed the Salamence and knock it out. As now Megatron, the Aggron comes in, so I just U-turn on that. I'm still at a good range where I can still tank hits from Tapu Bulu, as I just go right into my Swampert as he gets rocks up and I knock out his Aggron. My Defogger unfortunately is gone, being Scizor, but now he goes into Victini and U-turns. I stayed in there because I was like, if I can get damage on this thing, that's a game, because Unburden Sceptile outspeeds his whole team. His Tapu Bulu is Toxic and is going to take rocks damage. I can knock this out with a Leaf Blade, and if I just get damage on this, then I can knock it out with basically any move. So I decided to stay in there, thinking that I could probably tank any hit I wanted to go for, but he actually U-turns out into the Bulu. And what did I do? I think I Scalded. No, I Earthquake. Okay. I get a crit. It does 12. So a little bit more chip on top of Bulu for sure. But yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm going to switch out of here. What do I do? He Horn Leeches as I go hard Rillaboom, which I think was honestly kind of a risky play looking back on it. But it works out, as he's still a little bit low. I go for the Drum Beating, which does a good amount with the boost from Grassy Terrain and drops his speed. As he goes for another Horn Leech, and I'm still alive. And at this point I was like, okay, I don't want the Grassy Terrain to run out, because that's how I could lose. If the Grassy Terrain is not there, then I don't get my Grassy Seed, don't get my Unburden, and if he's like Scarf Victini, then he can outspeed me. So I think at this point I decide to save my Rillaboom, as he's actually taking a lot of toxic damage, and I go back into this, and he goes for the Play Rough, which, you know, more Rocky Helmet. I probably could have roosted here, but he dies of Toxic. Yeah, if he had stayed alive, I could have roosted. But he goes Blastoise, and I don't want him Shell Smashing again, so I just go for the Brave Bird, knock him out. I'm still alive, and if he's Scarf Victini, he outspeeds me, but if he's not Scarf, then I outspeed him, and he's got to take Rocky Helmet damage, so it's looking like the game's pretty much wrapped up. I get a Brave Bird off and knock myself out, as he goes for the Blue Flare. And I go into my Rillaboom just to get the Grassy Terrain back up. The Grassy Terrain is up. I'm good. He knocks out Rillaboom. And now I am free to go Sceptile. So, very good game played by Ark. I mean, Sceptile's just no, oh no! I was actually accidentally still overgrow in the team builder, which completely screwed me. Because I was literally 0 speed, max HP, max attack, which would have outsped Victini with terrain. Even a Scarf of Victini would have still been outsped by my Unburdened Sceptile, but unfortunately I was overgrow. I forgot to change it in the builder, and I was overgrow, and that lost me the game. Because then I'm like, okay, maybe he's scarfed into Blue Flare and I can live it, but he is not. He actually has Energy Ball, and that ends the game. Ugh, so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Yeah. But if I just... Next week I just need to make sure that I have all my correct abilities in the builder, and I'll be doing better. So, super frustrating. I think I played that game really well, and I set up myself for the win condition very well. I just was not the right ability. It's very upsetting. But I'm still proud of how I played that game, and we'll definitely be bringing my better A game to the rest of this season. So actually, I'll put Ark's YouTube in the description. He uploaded his version of the battle, which was actually live, which is pretty exciting. So if you want to check that out, I highly recommend it. But until then, until next week, I guess, I'll see you guys then. Peace out. Keep dreaming. Goodbye. I forgot to do the outro thing, so goodbye.